How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Catching Cars. We are currently sitting in a 2025 Mazda CX-60. For other markets, this is very comparable to the Mazda CX-70 and Mazda CX-90. And as you may be able to hear, our test vehicle here has a diesel engine. Now, I recently said in my Kia Sorento video that, in my opinion, diesel engines are the way to go with SUVs. Now, the Kia Sorento had a 2.2 liter 4-cylinder diesel. Here with this Mazda CX-60, we have a 3.3 liter inline 6-cylinder diesel. So we have 254 PS, which is around 250 horsepower on tap, 550 newton meters, which is around 405 foot-pounds of torque, right? So this being a heavy SUV is not gonna be crazy fast. It's not a dragster, it's not a rocket ship, as I used to say, right? It is time to mention our partners at Dream Giveaway, and this one is huge. You can win not one, but 2 Corvettes, a 2025 Z06, and a 1964 Stingray with some tasteful mods. On top of that, they provide a wildfire car lift and some cash to pay for the taxes. Make sure to hit that first link in the description for more details, and be sure to make a donation to help veterans and children's charities, and for your chance to win 2 beautiful Vettes. This is a giveaway you do not want to miss. It is fast enough to get you up onto the Autobahn, to be able to pass people on a little B road like the one I'm on right now. You know, I had this at 221 kilometers an hour on the Autobahn, which is fast enough. Illegal speeds, way over illegal speeds in most countries, right? And like I said, it just feels solid. It feels fast enough, it feels solid and powerful. And a 3.3 liter diesel, currently in Europe, is unheard of. Where can you find a 3.3 liter diesel engine? And I'm so glad that Mazda has given us the CX-60 with this engine. And I'm also averaging, I don't know if you can see it right now, but it says 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers. It was actually slightly below that. I was doing a little bit of driving in these B roads here, and also did the top speed POV video that you will be able to find on the channel as well. But I was able to get around 5.8 to 5.9 liters per 100 kilometers. That's almost 40 miles per gallon US in a heavy SUV like this, right? A family hauler. And I think that if you're an enthusiast and you need an SUV for the family, and you maybe have a sports car on the side, or this is your only vehicle that you share with your wife and have to take the kids to school, but you still want to have a little bit of fun, I think this Mazda CX-60 should definitely be on your short list, especially if you live in Europe and can get it with the diesel engine. Also, do you hear that? This is how you do a modern interior, in my opinion. You have all the screens that everybody wants, and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, all that stuff, but you still have tactile usability with buttons and knobs. I want to change my climate, I press a button. I want to turn on my cooled seats, I press a button, right? You get the idea. This is how a modern interior should be done. I don't have to look for everything in a screen and reach all the way up here or whatever. No, this is much easier to use on the go. Now, I do get that some people prefer a touchscreen, especially when sitting in the car, standing still. Sometimes a touchscreen can be easier, right? I want to click collision avoidance, boom, I click it. This is not a touchscreen, only when you're using Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. I believe. I wasn't able to test that, to be honest, but that's what I heard. But for me, this works perfectly fine, right? And on the go, while you're moving, this here is much, much better to use. And I think to make it right for everyone, I think car manufacturers should just give us touchscreens and buttons and knobs, right? So we can decide on what we want to do and what we want to use. You also have a little digital gauge here that is not really that customizable, to be honest. There's not really much that you can toggle between, but it looks decent. It looks nice. You have the, you know, classic looking gauges here, which is also very, very nicely, in my opinion. Go ahead and give this biker some space. But yeah, this should definitely be on your short list. Like I said, if you're an enthusiast, And I recently had the chance to drive an X5 for just a very short test drive. The X5 with the 3-liter diesel. Now, the X5 feels, I guess, a little bit more refined when it comes to the ride and handling, and also the engine feels slightly more refined, right? But there is a big, somewhat of a big price gap in between those two vehicles. And this is no slouch. You can still have fun with this Mazda CX-60, right? But the handling is not quite as good as you would get with the X5, and the ride is also pretty harsh. It is harsher than you would expect. The first 2 days I had to get used to it, but once you get used to it, it is okay. It settles in, and like I said, you still can have some fun with the CX-60 if you really need to. All right, you can hustle a back road, and considering the price difference and the interior of the CX-60 compared to the X5, I'd choose this any day over the X5. I take that price difference and put it towards my sports car, and I just take this as my family hauler, right? So honestly, I don't have anything negative to say about this CX-60 other than one thing, and that's, I believe that's only because this is a European model or a German spec vehicle. I'm not sure how it is in other markets, but the driver assistance tech is such a pain, and to deactivate it, you have to go through all these different menus here. So you have the driver assistance system here, you have safety alerts here, then you go down here, you have collision avoidance, you have all these different things that you have to deactivate there. You have driver monitoring to activate that there, and you also have a little button here to deactivate some of the sounds and noises from the assistance tech or driver assistance tech, whatever. I believe this is mainly for the intelligent speed assist, they call it. I don't know what's so intelligent about it, but I'm gonna activate it now, leave it on for a short second. We're gonna go slightly above the speed limit here. Remember, on the speedo. So there it already beeped at me again because I was going above 50. So now it recognized the sign. Now we're going slightly above 80 on the speedo. We're doing 86, 85 on the speedo, which is 78 GPS, right? So I'm still going the speed limit and it's beeping at me, right? So to deactivate that, you can turn it off here. But like I said, all this stuff you still have to deactivate there, and that is every time you sit in the driver's seat. Not only every time you start up the engine, but even if you have the engine on, you had deactivated it, then you realize, oh, I have to grab something out of the trunk. You get out, get back in, all this stuff is back on. It is insane. But that's not Mazda's fault. That's an EU problem, and I hope we can find a solution for all this nonsense, right? But I wish there was just a button here. This button, if you would push and hold this, I wish it would just deactivate everything. That would be great, right? Or if I could save it in, you have these, you have the drive modes. No, the driver personalization system, right? I wish I could just save it to have all the nonsense deactivated for my driver profile. If anybody else wants to use it, they can keep it on, right? But I'm just not a big fan of that stuff. I like to drive myself. But yeah, enough of a rant about that stuff. Other than that, this Mazda CX-60 is a great, actually phenomenal SUV. And like I said, it should definitely be on your short list. The interior quality is second to none. The sound system is great. We have the Bose sound system in this one. The tactile usability, come on. And a 3.3 liter diesel engine that gets great fuel economy. There's not much more to say. We're gonna end it right here. And I hope to see you guys, catch you guys in the next video.